Hello everybody. This isn't a build up to Pacific Rim video, no. This is a review of Pacific Rim. I finally saw it. I am so happy. As you all know, I was building up to it, I was doing the reviews, and now we got the movie in space. In this cinema in space. I'm in space. But anyways, what do you say about Pacific Rim? It was awesome. Yeah, that's about as much as I can say about it. No, I'm not going to just say that. It didn't let me down at all. Even with the moments where it felt a little dull, I still was entertained. Yeah, because, it wasn't just, excuse me, oh boy, it's like almost 2 in the morning, but, you know, the scenes are there to make you feel more for the characters. The lead character, he's cool. He's just, the standard lead character. And there's his sidekick, Mako, I think her name is. I don't know why, but I'm having trouble remembering the names. The only character's name I can remember off the top of my head, the only two characters' name I can remember off the top of my head is Newt and Hannibal. I don't know why I can't remember anyone else's name and making me feel really stupid. But it's not about that. It's about, you guys want to know, how are the battles? The battles are fantastic, of course they are. You remember the one scene in Hellboy 2 when he was kind of brawling with that giant monster? Just think about an entire movie pretty much like that. Okay, it's not the entire movie, but whenever it's like that, but bigger. You really get the sense of scale, and it's an art to make monsters look huge, make the monsters look huge, and make the Jaegers look huge. It's an art form, and Del Toro really did it well here. He did it almost perfectly. There are some scenes where the hand just goes right over the camera. It looks really sweet. It looks awesome. And of course, when they actually throw down with the kaiju, it is awesome because, it's not like in Transformers where they're, kind of fast-paced, constant. They are like decent. They have a faster paced fights, but they move a bit slower because they're gigantic machines, and some of the fights take place in water, and with that, they slow down a little bit. The characters are really well done, but like I said, the lead character is just your action movie lead character. He has his sidekick Newt. They both have their troubled past. Not Newt. Mako, I think her name was. I'm trying to remember. And they both have their dark backstories and all that stuff, as every character in these types of movies does. And of course, Idris Elba was fantastic. He was one of my favorite characters in this movie. He probably was my favorite character in the movie because he didn't mess around at all. He took this role very seriously, and he did a great job. I just hope I'm pronouncing his name right. And of course, not the entire movie. I was sitting in a row with a bunch. I brought a bunch of my friends up here into the cinema in space, and we all sat in a row, and I was on the edge of my seat, like this, kind of biting out my fingers and stuff like that, just waiting for, the next throwdown with the kaiju. And the beginning, I really do think that the beginning could have been longer. Like, they showed more of the kaiju invasion at the start. That would have been cool to see, but for that, you'd have to read the graphic novel, the one I reviewed, if you wanted to see more on their invasion. And what I did like about it is that you really didn't have to read the graphic novel in order to know what's going on here. It's nice to read the graphic novel to give more of an explanation about the science of the whole thing, but it's not required, and that was really cool. The movie doesn't really reference a lot of other giant monster movies or anything like that. It just pretty much keeps to itself, which is what it needed. And a lot of people, as soon as they saw the previews for this, they immediately compared it to Evangelion. I could barely notice the similarities, other than it's monsters fighting mechs. You see that all the time in Power Rangers. They did that in even in some of the Godzilla movies. They did that. They also did it in Ultraman, the Ultraman series, Ultra Q, stuff like that. So this isn't the first one. This isn't the first, and neither was Evangelion. Del Toro said this is like an homage to the mech anime he watched in his youth, and you can sense that here. And if he wasn't partially inspired by Evangelion, this is still better than Evangelion by a long shot. Like, Evangelion would be, it's here. It's pretty damn good. Not perfect. And then, I mean, it's great, but, you know, it's missing a few things. And then Pacific Rim is above it, far above it. I mean, not really, but far above it, but it's above it. But comparing the two is just stupid. You're not going to get anywhere if you compare the two. You're just going to pressure yourself and everyone else. So, let's not compare it. We're done with that. Let's start a thing where no one compares this to Evangelion anymore, because that's just ridiculous. The movie on its own, it's solid, it's great, I loved every second of it. Stay till after the credits, not the full credits, just, you know, the Avengers type credits where, you know, there's the whole thing going on, you know, they're showing like images of things. I was just like, this reminds me of the Avengers credits, and then my friend Zach's just like, yeah. And, you know, watch till after that, there's a really cool tongue-in-cheek thing they do. I was really happy that they put that in. Del Toro said he wanted this to feel more light and airy and less dark than other summer movies. I got that, but it also did feel a little bit dark. It's a dark movie, but not totally pitch black, dark action movie. It's a lot of fun. The kids will love it. I loved it. And if you grew up watching stuff like Power Rangers, you know, mech anime, giant monster movies like I did, or just, you know, when you were younger, watched like those 80s cartoons, you'll like this. This will let your inner child out. It's really fun. I definitely recommend it. I give this movie a 5 out of 5 stars. Thank you for joining me in the cinema in space, and I'll catch you guys at the next review.